I do it from my heart. I don't do it to wave a flag and say, look at me. We bring bags of toys and posters and albums, and you should see how it transforms these kids. They jump up and down, and we're so happy.
My brother, the legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th, 2009 at 2:26 p.m.
Yes, we have a personal doctor here with him, sir. Oh, you have a doctor there? Yes, but he's not responding to anything, to no, he's not responding to CPR or anything.
Michael Jackson was born on August 29, 1958. He grew up in Gary, Indiana in the United States and saw an education in Montclair College in New Jersey. Originally, Michael wanted to become a film actor and producer due to his deep passion for musicals and movies he watched as a kid. However, his dream suddenly crumbled to the ground as in 1970, many of his scripts, ideas, and thoughts never attracted enough attention, leaving him heartbroken and eventually forced him to find a new career since no companies or people knew about him. Fortunately, Michael was lucky enough to have been born into a family with a passion for music. Along with his brothers, Michael Jackson was a part of the notorious family band called the Jackson 5, which he first sang with at the age of 5 years old, starring in classic hits like I Want You Back or Who's Loving You. He was playing with the band during this time, and for a while, Jackson and the band kept playing continuously together until Michael did something impossible. Michael Jackson released his most ambitious and critically acclaimed album yet, called Thriller, the #1 album in the world in terms of sales and sold copies even to this day. The album featured major hits such as Billie Jean and Beat It. In addition, the album by itself featured artistic and rambunctious music videos, which changed the way music could be perceived as well as marketing for the entire industry of music and pop to come. The album was so good that Michael decided to leave the Jackson 5 and pursue his own independent career in the music industry just from the sheer amount of success the album brought. After this, Michael Jackson was on a hot streak of top music studio hits, releasing the Bad album on August 31st, 1987. This album was just as good as before, being an overall monumental success and having a record-breaking 5 individual singles in the top 100 Billboard, which solidified himself as a global superstar to the entire world. Skipping forward in 1991, just 4 years later, Michael made another world-acclaimed album called Dangerous. This album was again an insane commercial success, being a #1 album in the Billboard for the 3rd time in a row. Meanwhile, Michael was also invited to become a part of the halftime show for the Super Bowl held in Pasadena, California, effectively giving off a breathtaking performance, creating a bigger dependence for quality and care for the Super Bowl halftime shows for future artists and generations. It seemed like the sky was the limit, but sadly, there was a roof in the building. Michael Jackson received a sexual child abuse allegation in 1993 from a man named Evan Chandler. He accused Michael of molesting his 13-year-old son at a park called Neverland Ranch, a place located in Santa Barbara County, California. Neverland Ranch was a private amusement park owned by Michael Jackson, which was dedicated to be a personal sanctuary to reclaim his lost childhood, while also being a safe haven for ill or underprivileged children. Although there wasn't any proof for this allegation and just Evan Chandler's speculation, many people examined the topic on face value and started to criticize Jackson and his behavior without looking into any other details. Eventually, the allegation was settled in court for a $23 million settlement even though Michael pleaded innocent the entire time. This first allegation took a major toll on his entire career and effectively put down his next upcoming albums from becoming as famous as before. After this sad mishap, Michael created the next album called His Story, which had the purpose to assert Michael Jackson's innocence as well as his legacy for being the king of pop in response to Evan Chandler's allegation. Unfortunately, instead of it being another hit album, His Story was met with mixed reviews, and people started to judge Michael Jackson's music heavily, saying that some of his songs were anti-Semitic and just terrible. It's insane how many die-hard fans gave into the crowd of people who declared Michael as guilty even when there was no proof to back it up, but the problems just got worse from here. In 1997, Michael Jackson released his next upcoming album called Blood on the Dance Floor, His Story in the Mix. Despite this album being the best-selling remix album of all time and being in the top 10 albums in its year, the album was still met with harmful reviews, with fans criticizing its repetitive remixes at launch, calling it a boring or just a lazy project. While some did defend it, saying it's underrated and its dark nature was satisfying to see, it's clear that after the first allegation, no matter what Michael Jackson did, the majority of his fans wouldn't side with him due to the allegation that was always behind him haunting his past. After Blood on the Dance Floor, in 2001, Michael released his last album that he would ever make. This album was called Invincible, which was the most expensive album ever produced at the time, costing $30 million in production. When the Invincible album came out, just like before, it was met with harsh reviews, being mostly mixed to negatives. Fans bombed the album as being too long with its 77-minute runtime, too computerized with its production, and uninspiring in terms of lyrics and beats. Fans also made the critique that the album lacked the warmth Michael brought to his other projects, seeing the album as basic and not intrusive as it should have been. The album itself also faltered in promotional support, as during the time Sony had been on bad terms with Michael due to music ownership quarrels in the past, making a permanent rift between Sony and Michael, which hindered the album's viewability since Sony was a co-owner of his songs despite not actually making them. And after this, it truly hit rock bottom. Sony and Michael Jackson had a huge fallout, with Michael having cancelled promotions and no supporting tours for his newest project. When seeing all of the legal issues, financial challenges, and media pressure dominating Jackson's choices, Michael officially left the music industry as it was too hard for him to deal with all of the hate that he had been getting over the past decade. After this fallout, Michael stayed quiet for the next 8 years in terms of releases, but of course, the challenges were still far from over. Michael Jackson faced more allegations in 2003, where a man named Gavin Arvizo accused Michael Jackson of being sexually abusive to children. This mainly stemmed from a documentary called Living with Jackson, where Jackson does indeed admit he shared beds with children in Neverland Ranch. However, this doesn't necessarily mean he was guilty of doing anything wrong to them. Sharing a bed with a child at point-blank view does seem irredeemable, but it doesn't prove he actually did any harm or explicit actions to the children. Another fact that I would like to present is that all of the accusations Michael got from apparent child victims don't line up when you research more into them in terms of consistency. For example, a man named Wade Robson was located at Neverland Ranch when he was 7 years old. In 2005, Wade Robson defended Michael Jackson as being innocent, but after Michael Jackson's unfortunate death in 2009, Robson accused Michael Jackson of sexual abuse in 2013 at the age of 30 years old. This already doesn't make sense, as why would Robson defend Michael Jackson earlier if he was truly abusive, and why did it take Robson so long to come out with the accusation? Nothing was hindering him from speaking up, and this pattern goes for almost all of the accusations Michael got from his supposed victims as well. Let's go over 2 more examples real quick. Another man named James Safechuck was in Neverland Ranch at the age of 10. In 2005, James also defended Michael for being innocent, but again in 2013, he accused Michael Jackson as being guilty after he was already dead. Both James and Wade Robson declared these accusations in the same documentary story being leaving Neverland. Quite the coincidence, but let's go back to the Chandler accusation in 1993. It is said evidently that Jordan Chandler, who was the kid that apparently got abused in the 1993 case, accused Michael Jackson of sexual abuse with the help of his family. However, weirdly, Jordan's father, Evan Chandler, came out as accusing Michael first, which is very strange because Jordan was the one who experienced what Michael supposedly did to him. This could make the assumption that Jordan was entitled to accuse Michael Jackson even if it wasn't true, since his father came out with the allegation first, meaning that Jordan needed to actually comply since his father was already doing it. But for now, let's click fast forward to the present day. The Epstein files were released on January 30th, 2026. These files held horrible information about popular celebrities doing unfathomable things to underage minors. Most of these terrible actions were held on Epstein's island. Despite most of the files being completely redacted because God forbid devils get locked up, there is some information that can be gathered to prove that Michael Jackson was actually innocent the entire time. Here is the proof.
I am not going to do anything sexual to a child. It's not where my heart is. I will slit my wrist first. I would never do anything like that. That's not Michael Jackson. I'm sorry.
So Michael Jackson used his life to protect children, yet was misunderstood by the world as a criminal. Neverland, this mysterious place, was not as simple as the outside world thought. Recently, a previously undisclosed truth was revealed. In Neverland, Michael Jackson shielded children from the forces of darkness, keeping them away from the terrifying reality of Epstein's Island. He provided children with a sanctuary, protecting them from harm and abuse, yet was misrepresented by the media and the public as a criminal. He was falsely accused of abuse, while the real abusers remained undisclosed. Macaulay Culkin and other celebrities publicly defended Jackson, proving that he was not only a musical genius, but also a hero who fought for the safety and protection of children.
This man is going to be humiliated beyond belief. He will not believe what's going to happen. Beyond his worst nightmares. That's still one more record.
This attorney I found, I interviewed several, and I picked the nastiest son of a bitch I could find. Once I make that phone call, this guy is just going to destroy everybody in sight. Any devious, nasty, cruel way that he can do it. And I've given him full authority to do that. It'll be a massacre if I don't get what I want.
If I go through with this, I win big time.
I will get everything I want, and they will be destroyed forever. They will be destroyed. June is going to lose Jordy. She will have no right to ever see him again.
Yeah.
That's a fact, Dave. That's what's
Does that help?
Her career will be over.
Does that help Jordan?
Michael's career will be over.
And does that help Jordan?
It's irrelevant to me.
Undeniably, Michael Jackson is innocent. No matter how you look at his story when you truly research it, Michael Jackson tried to help children, which was what he was saying the entire time. If Michael Jackson was truly guilty of all of the accusations and victim stories, he would have no reason to help children escape from Epstein's Island and instead partake in the evilish deeds of the other celebrities. However, that's not what we see here. In my opinion, all of the victim stories are false, composed of a thirst for attention or money to gain without any evidence to back it up. Despite everybody claiming that Michael Jackson was one of the worst people to have ever lived, he turned out to be the angel that everybody needed when they didn't even know about it. Michael Jackson's story is a tale of a man who was falsely ridiculed, antagonized, and stripped of everything he ever did. But despite everybody not looking out for him, he looked out for everybody else. This was Michael Jackson, a talented, idolized, and one of the best artists of all time. An angel born with wings that got cut off. A person who wasn't just a person. Michael Jackson died in 2009, believing that everybody hated him. It only took us 17 years for us to realize the horrible mistake we made. Honestly, all of us should be ashamed. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I make documentary videos and other forms of content. This video was strictly a tribute to Michael Jackson, and I wanted to talk about it since he was one of the best artists of our time who didn't get the life he deserved. This video was also inspired by this comment in my community post. Originally, I didn't know Michael Jackson's story, but after everything, I deleted one of my videos putting Michael Jackson as a bad person and apologized for everything even if nobody saw. But that's all from me. This is Buff Ben. It's a good night for me, but I hope it was a good day for you. I'll see ya.
Yeah. I don't want to watch that Michael Jackson thing. First of all, it's weird because he's not alive. He's not alive to defend himself, so it's weird. It's also stories, and you know, people tell the truth in stories sometimes, and sometimes they don't, and you don't know. You don't know.
There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected.